Yo, what is up, Rise? Oh shoot, I need to remember to run the pre-rolls. Cause I went to money. How's your day going so far? Normal day, studied some trig earlier, heck yeah. You're gonna destroy that intro exam. They're gonna just graduate you already once you finish it. You're like, who's this Rise guy? You can get your degree day one, dude, I promise. Oh shoot, yeah. I'm assuming Procreate, all that stuff. Degree mills are real, true. I watched a documentary about that. Or I'm not sure if it's classified as a degree mill, but like it was this. I think it was like a Vox thing. Where there's this dude who uncovered like a buy a fake degree type thing, and I think it was India, or it was like all over, like from like Saudi Arabia to India, and you could just buy a degree from like a non-existent institution. I wish I did that, man. True. Yeah, I don't know why it was above me to be like, is that Embry? You're right. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Interesting, interesting. Embry-Riddle sounds like a fey trickster from oh my god, Baldur's Gate. Like a kobold or like some warlock who has a very sly and cunning personality. I don't know why I'm slandering a university, but shout out. In hindsight, if I could have skipped college and, well, period, but also if I could have skipped college and done something that would have directly got me into software engineering or cybersecurity, I would have totally done it. Like not just like a co-op or just like something where I'm just immediately learning and then applying it rather than, sure, theory's cool. Complexity theory is very interesting, but I'm not going to need to know if a problem is P or NP or any of that for my typical software or cyber thing. Cybersecurity of the US military, yeah. Cuz I like cyber a lot. But like you're either, part of a cyber crew in an organization, you're a contractor, or you're in the military, or you're a contractor for the military, and like all those can be subsets of the military. Yeah. So I've seen various branches and three-letter agencies have hounded the engineering building at my university. They have stands, they have all that stuff. They make their presence known. Very generous donations from some of them for some of the organizations on campus. as I learn more about cyber, I think my home is probably just going to be a software engineer, like a developer who is mindful, like knows a fair amount of cyber stuff. That's my goal. If I'll be able to accomplish that, who knows? But I would like that to be my niche. Because you can go for data, you can go for any of that, but I feel like saying, hey, I'll build your platform and keep it safe. Yeah, what's up? Welcome to the channel. I'm not sure if I've seen you here before, but Daniela, welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Not sure if I recognize the name, I should say. But if this is, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The something is life person. Sanrio, yes. Change your name. Gotcha. Well, welcome. Yes, yeah. I actually, because I didn't like any of the other options. Like I'm not particularly fond of how Stream Elements does their stuff. So I made my own version of it called Combo Chat. Because most multi chats out there, they don't handle YouTube deletions correctly. So I made it myself. And there is one big bug, and it detects all clear chat events from Twitch, including if it's just a clear chat for a specific user. So if I ban somebody, it clears the chat. It's very easy to fix. I've just been extremely lazy and focused on other things. Speaking of that, I also need to make the pop-up for if people follow or donate or whatever. Make three PNG explosions happen on screen. Excited for a calm stream, though. We're going to be finishing our 112th cylinder today, hopefully. Maybe even 2 of them, but I doubt it. I like my pace. I would love to be able to do 5 cylinders per stream, but it will be over soon. And then we'll be into the lesson 6, man. Oh my goodness. I'm very hyped for that. It's going to suck, though, because things are going to start getting crazy. I'm going to be moving back to college. Classes start up. Just drawing boxes again. I get that. What better way to get back into it, right? Line work, perspective. All you need is some ellipses in there and boom. But first of all, hello everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's currently 7:30 p.m. Central Time. I was trying to see how fast I could say that. Like I said, we're going to be doing cylinders today. But first, before we get to that, let's do a little bit of a warm-up. I got too comfortable waiting for this stream to start. I was like crossing my legs. Okay, let's get started. Also, yeah, Rise, I realized I wasted a lot of time talking before stream when I could just talk while I warm up. So we've cut down on the pre-stream yap a little bit. Now it's been moved to doing it while I work, which slows me down just a tiny bit. Also, Rise, if it's in the budget, if you want a very, very nice drawing desk, now that you're on iPad, I'm not sure if you need it, but I got this $80 or $90 drawing desk. It's slanted. It has like an extendable tray on the side and two drawers. They're not the best quality drawers. Underneath it, you can adjust the height and angle. Let me know if you need that, because man, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Now shipping was pricey, but you could also like go to stores near you and they have the exact same thing for a tiny bit more. Oh shoot, huge. Oh, I have a slight rant. Very small. I have Glass One, which I have mixed feelings about. Gotcha. Yeah, Glass One doesn't... I'm not a fan of glass furniture, I guess I should say. But the small rant is, whenever I clean up dishes, I listen to music, loudly. Which, I mean, my whole family accepts. I'm weird for that, but who cares, right? But then my sister says, Cav listens to music that stinks. Want to know what music I was listening to? Kendrick Lamar. Brother. Those are fighting words in my opinion. Because like you can listen to whatever music you want. It's just rude to tell someone else that their music stinks. You can listen to 100 gecs in the comfort of your own home, and I will not judge you. Not only that, it was probably, I think, I've not listened to all of Kendrick, but specifically Mr. Morale. Dude, I love that song so much. It's probably my favorite Kendrick song right now. It does so much. It's so great. And before that, I think, okay, I was listening to Kid Cudi before that, and Kid Cudi is a mixed bag, because some are like Kids See Ghosts with Kanye, and yeah, okay, crazy great. Oh, is it? Shoot. And then like I was Tyler before that, and then I switched to Psychedelic Crumpets. You could call Psychedelic Crumpets weird, but oh yeah. Playing the Undertale music. Heck yeah, I found like this mega playlist of basically game, like I vibe with like 85% of the music here. I'm not a huge fan of Undertale music. Like I would rather listen to Outer Worlds, right? But it's definitely not bad music at all, and a lot of it holds nostalgia factor. Even though I haven't even played Undertale, and yet some of the music holds nostalgia factor for me, but just because it's so like everywhere. You can't not respect that music, right? Maybe it'll encourage you to play some more Deltarune. Who knows? When I improve my line work yesterday was kind of cracked. I'm gonna repeat of that today. But yeah, I took today easy. Finished the lesson 3, 4, and 5 scripts. So this upcoming week we'll be doing the storyboards for those YouTube videos. And then I'm actually going to go back and do a second pass of drafts. Where, because in my last video, I was kind of just saying things as things were happening on the screen, right? It definitely feels like I wrote the script and then I animated everything. And it's a chicken and the egg, right? Because I can't have everything animated at the same time that I write the script. One has to happen before the other. There's no knowing what the script's going to totally be like before the animation, and you really, when you make the animation, you don't know what the script's going to be like. When do you think you'll be able to release the video? It's all dependent on two things. One, how long the storyboards take, because I have no frame of reference. I'm doing them much differently than I have in the past. And then two, I have to learn Blender for this video. And so Blender could be crazy easy. The Blender could be crazy difficult. I'm not sure. And I'm also going to be doing a ton of recorded segments for these videos. My goal is to finish the lesson 3 storyboard, or finish all the storyboards, start working on lesson 3, and if I feel like I can do lesson 4 and 5 before the end of August, then I will. And then release all of them probably in September-ish, maybe even late September, late August. So best case, late August, early September, best possible case. Worst case is I decide, okay, I can only work on lesson 3, so that'll be, lesson 3 will happen probably mid-August, and then who knows with the other two. But I'm hyped because I'm at the point of no return where I've invested so much work into this that like to abandon it now would be kind of worthless. So it's just a means of setting myself up with these storyboards to be very successful. Because after the storyboards, I'm going to revisit the script, and then once I revisit the script, I prepare all the media. So I record all my lines, and then I make all the animations, all of that stuff. that is the hardest part over. The end of that, or a majority of the animations and materials for the animations. After that, it's just stitching together the clips, actually like doing the animations, if that makes sense. Like I make materials for the animations and then stitching them together. So hopefully that'll all fit together. So yeah, hopefully late August to mid-September. Hopefully before my first round of exams, which is usually late September, and then August or October is usually midterms. Specifically on Halloween, because my university is psychotic for some odd reason. However, most of my classes are project-based, which is great. And I know one professor, I just have to stay on top of the project the whole semester and I'll be good. It's going to be tough, but in fact, Rise, I think you may like this class or the sound of it. During the whole class, you make two things. You make an antivirus and you make a virus. At the end of the semester, you pit your antivirus against everyone else's viruses, and you pit your virus against everyone else's antiviruses. And it's competitive grading. So the person who detects the most viruses with their antivirus gets the highest grade. The person who defeats the most antiviruses with their virus also gets the most points. And everyone else who scores under that gets a respective grade lower. It's tough. It's going to be interesting, but I think we're allowed to work in teams, and I've done this professor before, and I have a very good feeling that he will not fail me. This is data analytics for cybersecurity. So, you have your traditional antivirus and stuff, and this professor wants to teach us how to use machine learning to aid malware detection and logging. So this can go from something as like, oh, this IP is making a ton of requests. This is probably a DDoS attack. We'll start dropping packets from this IP to maybe side channel attacks. So this part of the RAM, something gets moved. I don't know how you do a side channel attack. I've only heard of them. Actual virus. Oh no. That'd be awesome, or that'd be scary. Actually, not awesome. This is a very weird song. I'm gonna keep it going. Plague Inc. School, dude. Man, no, this professor, you weren't here for it. This professor, the final project was quote unquote, I hate the word hacking, but breaching the security of some website or like open source project, Android app, something like that. And it was all very low level stuff, right? Like, or not low level, but like easy, I should say, easy stuff. So like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, very common vulnerabilities that either don't have much effect or you're not going to find Amazon having one of these vulnerabilities. And there's some really cool ones. We breached a company exposing a lot of very sensitive data, and they actually never repaired it, which is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, this professor's insane. He's awesome. I love him. I got the highest grade for viruses, but at what cost? Yeah, I accidentally caused the next epidemic. My bad. There may be an evil professor out there who is actually doing stuff like that. Like, imagine having a rubric and like transmissibility and virility and all that stuff is like on there. God. My accuracy isn't too bad tonight. It's my precision. Yeah, my biggest critique with college education is it's totally dependent on the professor. You're not going to university. You're sitting in this dude's class and hoping to God they teach you. And typically they don't. Like if I recount, I can only count like maybe one, two, three, maybe three professors. No, four. Okay, it's weird because like all my freshman classes, my general engineering classes, a lot of those professors actually taught you things, and it was helpful to go to lecture. But as I've gotten into my late sophomore and junior years, they just kind of say stuff, and you got to go home and just like sometimes even ignore what they say and read the textbook. Like I one time had a professor who was like notorious for saying things initially wrong about like threading or like asynchronous programs or stuff. Which I would do that, right? Like that's a hard concept to like get all the nuanced definitions and um like no one has the man actually no probably some people have the man 7 pages burned into their retinas, right? But he still would like backtrack so hard. It's like I didn't say that, brother. Your recordings are your lectures are recorded, dude. Oh, also got some new bird feed for the bird feeder today. That stuff was gone instantly. Now that I know more of what the birds like and don't like, we got a mix of just like peanuts, almonds, flaxseed, I think is in there or something like that. Because I realized none of the birds were eating the sunflower seeds. Gone literally instantly. It was. Oof. I've been watching this math professor to study. He's so funny. Dude will not read the actual questions. It's just asking to solve anything that has numbers in it. I love that. A big inspiration for how I make my YouTube videos is Professor Dave Explains. I don't think there's another YouTuber I've seen other than maybe three blue, one brown, or whatever. Um, uh, Professor Dave Explains has an amazing method of taking extremely complex things and reducing them down, right? Which every wonderful professor, Feynman technique, whatever, every great professor can do, right? But he specifically is able to reduce it down to like a sentence, and it's a golden sentence, one that like you can listen to it over and over again, and every time you listen to it, you learn something new. It is like the perfectly crafted definition to learn things. Sure, the sentences may run a little long or even a little short, but they tell you everything you need to know. And so I really wanted to shape my videos in that format, a bit less formal than he is, but to where every word or every major word or sentence is crafted like that. Any progress on your story you were creating? So there's two of them. There is T Merchant How, which I have made no progress on whatsoever. I've changed up the characters a little bit. How and then the unnamed I'm not gonna call side character, but like other protagonist, I guess. And then for my personal big story, I've scrapped a lot of stuff, and I'm just kind of letting it go into the ether now of thoughts. Um, I basically like it was this clump of ideas, and I just kind of let it just like gently unravel and turn into other concepts and story ideas and stuff. Um, so it's kind of like, just mingling around in my brain with other things that may get picked up by other projects and stuff, or it may, recombine. So there's three. Are there three? Oh goodness. Because I only remember how, and then how often do I draw stuff off stream? I've been actually pretty okay about it this summer. I'd say I'm almost at a 1-to-1. Even actually, no, I'm drawing more off stream now this summer than I ever have. But I mean, I'm drawing more off stream than I ever have, and more. Yeah, personal drawings and personal sketchbooks. I even made the time, to buy this sketchbook. That has a red bar across it, so I know not to show this on stream. Not that there's anything embarrassing or personal in here, but there is. But just like I'm not showing this to anybody unless I really, really want to. That's where I keep all my One Piece fan fiction. But yeah, and so just giving myself that outlet, and just like this is probably, where is it? This is my first sketchbook I ever bought. It's before I started streaming though, so the other one's really my first one. And this one I've just treated like trash, and I filled it up with literally everything and anything, just doodles, practices, random stuff. Some are scratch pads, some are actual things, right? And just like having something like this that I can just trash and do that with, and feel totally comfortable doing thumbnails in, just totally has helped me. And I'm gonna get another sketchbook like that because that one's almost finished. That I can trash again. I love it so much. It's my favorite sketchbook. If you want to inspire people, Kev, if you want to inspire people, nothing's more inspiring than watching someone work on a huge project like that. True. I actually need to because I've just been spamming gravel drawings as of recent. I need to probably start focusing on one of those projects, shouldn't I? I think I'm scared of the writing because I know there's a lot more that goes into writing. I have a lot to learn in that regard. I'm not a huge fan of writing. More so dialogue. I'm a fan of stories, if that makes sense. Like I'm a fan of things happening or not happening, just like I don't like talking. Like the fact that people can make one person can make several characters that sound and act differently is weird to me. Because I feel like if I write two characters, they sound like me. But that is totally true, Rise. In the future, honestly. No, because I wouldn't have the time. I was going to say in school, but this would probably be like once I'm out of school working on my own. Like if I ever have YouTube videos I want to work on, I may just pop the stream open. And I won't save the VOD. I'll just let the stream run though, and we can just like edit videos and work on code together. Outside of our normal drawing time though. Okay, I was thinking about this before stream. I don't know why this came up in my head. I think so. The best YouTube channel, like the most YouTube channel. I think that's the qualification. The most YouTube channel. Basically, they like fulfill all the YouTube objectives of interacting with the audience, high quality content, doing all the things to make their channel popular and grow, while still being relatable and great. I think the most YouTube and one of the best YouTube channels is VFX art Corridor Digital, specifically the VFX Artist React. I've been binging their stuff as of recent. They are probably one of my favorite channels of all time. It does seem a bit like a content mill, but it also makes it's not a mill's an insult because like it's not like they're just producing whatever. They're putting thought and effort and creativity into these videos. I really look up to their editing style and their writing and all that stuff. And they've inspired me to be a little bit more ambitious with the videos and such. Definitely turned that way too fast, but I wanted to fit another ellipse in there. You tried to learn Blender on stream. True. I'm not sure because the problem with that is I share an office, and so for most days of the week, I can't be on mic. And so that's usually when I'm writing my scripts and stuff because I can't really be playing video games or interacting. But like weekends, that's totally doable. My only fear though is like exposing personal information. You've already done Gmod. How much different could it be true? That's so true. Yeah, my fear is shaders. Because I've done what I'm gonna do, which is highlighting form intersections before with the CavTools website. And I know how horrible it was making shaders for that because I was limited by the engine. But not only is Blender more powerful and has a bigger engine, well, that's not the only, but that's the thing. It's more powerful. It has more. There's a lot more nuance and stuff to be had. And so limiting myself to get exactly what I want out of it, it's going to be interesting. And I also don't want to be using like a jackhammer for a Phillips screw, right? Like I don't want to be using this insanely crazy technology that I don't need to learn all of just to do something simple. So that's my fear, but also like when I switched from Sony Vegas to Adobe Premiere, I had the same fear. And I mean, I've used Fusion 360, SolidWorks, and Hammer. So I have a tiny bit of experience in the realm of modeling. This isn't so much modeling as animation though, which is unique. Quick 10-minute video to learn. Yeah, this is definitely a lot easier than most Blender things because most Blender things are concerned with modeling. I'm literally going to sphere, cube, or maybe at the most I'll make a sausage form model. And I'm actually really glad that I have this project because I've always wanted to, mess with Blender and see what I can do. But I'm not a donut tutorial person. Make the crow guy into the model? Heck yeah. That would be quite fun. A low poly gravel would be quite fun. If I finish this video and I'm still feeling it, I'll make a low poly gravel. That'd be fun. In fact, my roommate was doing he spent months learning Blender, like on and off, but I really looked up to him for that, my roommate. Because really, so many people have made the donut, but so few have gone past that. And he did a really good job. As an introduction to the video, I wouldn't even want to animate it. I'll just have him like rotating like a Minecraft item. In Minecraft when like you drop an item, it's just like hovering and rotating. I'll do that with gravel. Oof, man, my ellipses are not it today. Why not? Got to be creative, dude. Inspiration. Heck yeah, true. If scope didn't exist, I'd be running with this. And hey, thankfully one of the hardest parts for me is over, which is script writing. I love YouTube. I love editing. I love making storyboards and animations and materials. Do not like scripting or writing scripts. I like, yeah, whatever. So it requires so much forethought and nuance. Because like I could put a couple of words on there, but I realized that that permutation of words sucks. It doesn't help. It isn't descriptive. I'm like, brick. I gotta rewrite it. Find a different word. And then like it turns out I've used that same word 8 times in the sentence. The amount of times I've had to rewrite sentences in the script because I used form like 3 times in there. And like the additive form on top of the base form makes the form turn in space, making the form look like it's. Yeah. For this, I need to find an alternative because animating everything to slide in and then slide out. I did so much of that, not by hand, like not pixel by pixel, but it was just such a pain. It was such an increase in workload to do that because I didn't have a transition set up or anything. So my goal this time too is to upgrade my workflow. Ooh, shoot! I just realized I'm gonna have to design a new UI because I don't like how the old video looks, like all those rounded edges. Oh, I mean like too rounded. These are nicely rounded, right? I'm. Oh wait, okay. All these, I'm cool with all of these, but I am also touching on some more personal stuff in the lesson 4 and 5 videos, about grinding, about how we choose our references and stuff, and I'm hoping that won't like it won't upset uncomfortable, but I hope it doesn't cause any confusion for students. On the more contentious stuff, I have reached out to uncomfortable. So a lot of the video is framed like this is just my opinion. Kavel grinding? I've never heard of that. There's a reason why the lesson 5. Actually, I'd say I grinded more in lesson 4 than lesson 5. I am HO. With my sphere arc, and then a lot of my side studies of how forms work. Meanwhile, the most I did, the worst thing I did in lesson 5 was the drawovers. Those were just excessive. Line work's improved a bit. Hey, what's up, 4? Hope you're doing well. Also, new Tyler album out tomorrow. I am so hyped. We get a Tyler album. Okay, it feels like Chromacopia came out a short while ago. When did Chromacopia come out? That was 2024, right? That was like last November. October? Okay, so it's been almost a year. It's been like, what, 10 months? 9 months. Yeah, if still. I'm hyped for a new Tyler album. The album art looks great. Very Tyler. Just gonna come here and stop by. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. I hope your day's going well. Cool. Okay. Hope your day's going well too. It is going mighty well. It's going even better now that the warm-up's finished. So we're gonna go into an ad break so I can get more money to fuel my. I'm actually making a streamer house with all the art YouTubers. With Scott Christian Sava or Christian Scott Sava. I think it's Scott Christian Sava. Okay, bye. Sam does arts. Steven Zapata, Proco, and Marshall. They're gonna share a room. They actually share like a twin bed. I think that's about it. Oh, Mark Bernay and Bucci, all in one house. Okay, anyways. Oh my god. Rise, you were on his Patreon. He makes those amazing YouTube shorts. Here, I'm actually gonna do a big BRB. This is gonna maybe last a couple minutes. Some wild picks. Those are just like the people off my head. Probably my favorites too, but then again, they're also the most popular. I don't know any niche art YouTubers. I wouldn't call PCAT niche, actually, no. Broken Draws, maybe. There's another. I reference him in my new video. Anyways, okay, I'll be right back, guys. We're gonna run 2 minutes of ads and maybe like a 5-minute break. I'm not sure, but be right back. Two minutes and 30 seconds. I lied about the 5 minutes. Yeah, Jekadar. And Serta's art, maybe I know them? Let's see. Serta's art. Let me also, I cannot find Serta's art. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Let me find the YouTuber. I referenced them when talking about reacting to the page. Need to find their YouTube video. I have it timestamped. Yeah, Bryce Colander. Bryce Colander. They very Gee-esque. Gee-esque sketches, drawings. Very inspiring stuff. And I can't remember if it was him because like I couldn't find in the video. I remember someone specifically saying reacting to the page, which you draw something and you ought to react to it because despite human error, if you're giving a reference, conceptual error, because we're all new to art, or just the fact that ideas are ephemeral and we're never going to be able to take an idea and put it exactly on the page, we ought to react to it. And so I feel like amazing artists are able to react what happens to the page, and even let that little bit of that randomness inspire creativity, which is happy accidents, right? I'm gonna take a couple more sips of water and then we're gonna get into our cylinders of the day. Oh man, Rise, I'm so glad you're back, and I'm so hyped. You're getting to school, you're getting to draw box, things are up, dude. Oh shoot, oh. Fat fingered like 8 buttons right there, my bad. Cool, let's get over here, and let's do a cylinder or two, guys. Probably a cylinder, given my pace tonight. Spent 40 minutes on the warm-up, that's, oh. Thing got him in studio mode, almost went to the... Oh yeah, Rise, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but now we have this thing going, so that's pretty neat. Okay, that just glitched the hell out. Don't trust Kavel to make widgets, guys. I don't know why I was so, I don't know, old-fashioned. I was like, I'm doing it myself. I'm doing it my way. For all of my widgets in combo chat. And what's the other thing? Oh yeah, I mean this thing. Actually, this thing I'm glad because this was like $5 and like a day of coding. So I have no regrets about that one. Combo chat was a couple weeks. It was like 3 weeks. Also, because I thought I wanted to release combo chat as a public thing, and I still can, but it is not a mode to be made public. Like, I would have to register it as an actual app for people to use, to sign into and stuff. Okay. So, let's do a wide medium degree. Low foreshortening. Slightly turn to the right this time as opposed to the left up here. And it'll make sense because we're going to be in this corner. I don't want to take up too much room like last time. So if it's slightly turned to the right, ooh, that does mean we'll have one of the axes going through here unless we really foreshorten it, but then we're losing degree. If we foreshorten too much. Actually, I do want more foreshortening. So if we get closer to that 90 degree, but foreshorten a lot, then that'll be a good mix. It just means we'll have to sacrifice this line down here. Because yeah, if we honestly, we could stick it in there with high foreshortening. If it's slightly turned to the right, that means the angle here is going to be larger. So yeah, we can actually get away with that. Let's do it. I'm going to go like in really tiny here. Boom. Like somewhere like that. Also slowly but surely working my way through Full Metal Alchemist. Very, very fun show. Sad. I didn't expect the Chimera thing, which whenever I hear about Full Metal Alchemist, I always hear about the Chimera thing. I didn't expect that to happen so soon. Brotherhood, yes. Sorry, I forget that there's a notable difference for people. But yes, Brotherhood, because I heard about, my friend told me, or maybe it was chat, who said, sorry for calling you guys chat, the ending wasn't written yet for Full Metal Alchemist, so they just kind of did whatever. Which bad. It is definitely giving me Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes. It's very, or the animation style and kind of the character designs. I love Al's armor. I love that. Oh, jeez. I love that armor so much. It's so well designed. Probably my favorite armor ever. In any anime, any show, anything. I think it's the best looking armor. Including like things like Ultron. Yeah, the Chimera thing is pretty malicious. That's why they both depart. Stories from the original goes off the rails. Yeah. Yeah, no. Chimera. I wanted to me because like if this was because like Demon Slayer, right? In a single movie, I'm not gonna say the character or why. In a single movie though, they get the Mugen Train. They get me really attached to a character and then we lose them. I don't know. I do not know. But like Mugen Train, I get really attached to this character in a single movie, and then I cry. I literally cry because of things that happen. Right? Frieren, I get attached to a character in the first episode and then cry. But I feel like I don't know. It didn't have the same weight to me. I don't feel like I had enough time or context to get invested in Nona. They wake up in World War II and it was all a dream. Dude, no. Really? I could tell the anime so far is pretty anti-war. I mean, we literally... Okay, spoilers. Very light spoilers. This is episode 4 or 5 spoilers, so if you're not to that point and you don't want to be spoiled, I'll give you a couple seconds to back out. I could tell it's very anti-war because literally, like, government dogs, that's what they call the alchemists, and then you literally have someone trying to retain their position in government, so he continuously sacrifices his family members. Yeah, very, like, anti-war. That's not the one you're watching. The OG is awful, dude. That's so disappointing. I love it right now because it has this kind of Hunter x Hunter, like unforgiving, kind of sick and twisted god behind it. Kind of like in Hunter x Hunter, you have these powerful deities who almost like playing tricks on humanity. So I like that setup a lot right now. I'm not as invested in Alphonse or whatever the MC's name is. I don't know. I'm forgetting right now. The Full Metal Alchemist, because I don't know why. I want to be more connected to them. I want to care about them more in their story, and I think their story's awesome. I think it's a great story. And definitely, I think it's probably an anime that gives so much good reason as to why the main character is so emphatic and hostile against people who abuse alchemy and disobey the law of equivalent exchange because they live through it. But I just don't know why I'm not more sad for them. Like, I think with the Nona thing, literally I felt like there was no more than 5 minutes of total time that Nona's on the screen before it happens. So, never felt sad for them. They both seemed content with where they were most of the time. Yeah, they definitely seem joyful to fight for their bodies back, right? And once again, I love the premise. I think the premise of children struck by grief making a deal, practically a deal with the devil, it goes wrong. They lose everything. But through that struggle, they've become immensely strong for their ages. And using that power, they want to basically undo their mistake. So it's a bit of guilt. It's a bit of a story on guilt too, right? What will we do to sacrifice our guilt? And through our mistakes, could we ever be redeemed? Right? Is this something... Oh my god. It's a great song, not for us right now though. Well, they wanted to bring their mom back. Yeah. I mean, and yeah, who would blame a kid for wanting to do that? I'm not totally for all these. Here we go. It's giving me a bit of the Scarlet Letter, right? They committed a taboo. Because I mean, if you're a kid who was offered something like that, why wouldn't you? Interesting. The initial adventure you feel from the first few episodes kind of goes away. Oh, interesting. Vampire Hunter D. I've never heard of that. Sounds good though. I really love stories on like Scarlet Letter. I feel like those are very human. We've all made our mistakes and such, and seeing how, like Vinland, for example, how we cope and reconcile our demons and such, very human. Like so much of Thorfinn's story isn't I miss my family, I miss my dad. It's oh God, I've killed hundreds of people. I don't even remember their faces, and I let myself become this monster. I love Vinland Saga, but the main character, I felt like I disliked his development. Interesting. Okay. Do you feel like it wasn't earned, or maybe he got it too easy? We could like crazy foreshorten this. I'm kind of tempted to. Once he got on the fields, I like, what is this guy doing, man? Do you feel like him going kind of limp and soulless was unrealistic? Let's see. This one's turned more to the right. Actually, can't really. If it's turned more to the right, where does the VP need to land? Because these are equidistant. Ideally, if the VPs are at the same distance, then it should be square, no? Ooh, if we foreshorten too much, though, we're going to hit the point of minor major axes flipping. Not particularly fond of that. Oh, okay, interesting. Gotcha. Okay, I like that take. Yeah, it is really nonsensical. I've not heard this song before. Let's give it a listen. Sounds pretty good so far. It's giving Warframe vibes right now. Love the art channels on Twitch. So cool. I've scrolled past. Man, It's so intimidating. These people are so awesome. They're so cracked. I mess with this song, dude. BB's theme. Woo. Got that stank face right now. You know. This feels square enough. Maybe this leg's a bit too long. No Delano guest appearance or nothing yet. I don't know. He's busy from time to time. I'll never hold it against anybody for being busy or stuff. Oh shoot, my friends are watching the Batman. I want to watch that one. The Bateman. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So the new Superman came out. Oh, this song has more. I'm a rant about that after this. I want to listen to this song more. Autotune babies making me laugh a little bit. Cool. That was BB's theme. Looks like from Death Stranding. Very nice. So yeah, Superman. I watched the new Superman. You guys probably know I'm not a huge fan of it. It wasn't bad, but like there was a lot of things. I went in there expecting Suicide Squad. It's not a Suicide Squad movie. This is a movie meant for younger kids who want to get into Superman, all that stuff. But if I was gonna show my kid, the Superman movie, I would show the original, the Man of Steel, not the original, but the Man of Steel. It's darker and grittier, but I like it a lot more than this one. But if I was gonna show my kid a Batman film, it would be a real toss-up between the Bateman and the Batman, right? Introduces a ton of things. My big issue with it is, I think it actually introduced a ton of things okay. Because I'm not a huge DC person, and yet I was like, oh, okay, I get this character's gimmick. It just treats the viewer like a kid. This isn't my mix. Why are there so many lyrical things in my mix? Interesting. Uh, but like everyone like the engineer at the beginning of the movie. This is going to be spoilers. Actually, Rise, do you care if I spoil it? Because I will not talk about it, like the specific reasons. I will say basically like you could replace half of Superman's lines in this movie with It would make sense. Um, okay, cool. So the engineer, her like one of her first lines in the movie, besides her tracking down Superman's base, is, "Yeah, I sacrificed my humanity just so I could take Superman down." There was nothing that prompted her saying that. Mr. Terrific being like, "Oh yeah, I know those forensic people. They're trustworthy." That line could have been completely replaced by, "I checked the video myself. It's authentic." The Justice Goons not wanting to side with Superman at all or support the war, or like involve themselves in the war, yet magically at the end they decide, "Oh shoot, yeah, I'm gonna start participating in the war now." I think Lex Luthor carried the film. He was so funny. They wrote him well. I like the cartoony kind of vibe with all the CGI. I think it was pretty good. I don't like the fact that like Lois Lane apologized to Superman, and I don't feel like the movie ever resolved the kind of question that we were introduced to, which is, does Superman have the authority to intervene in world politics? You know, should a superhero, an independent hero, be able to circumvent national politics to stop a war? And it doesn't really answer that. It lets Superman do it because it presents the invading country as inherently evil because it's supported by LexCorp and has these ulterior motives. But like, it's never answered. Lois Lane apologizes to Superman in the end when like I feel like he was in the wrong. I think he does apologize actually during that like one scene in the skyscraper. I don't know. I feel like the prison sequence, there's someone holding Superman's being held captive by a dude, by Mr. Elemental or whatever, and he turns into kryptonite, and he doesn't stop turning into kryptonite because his baby's there. And the baby will be, it's implied that the baby will be killed if he stops subduing Superman. But then they kill a random dude who Mr. Elemental has no association with. And he thinks it's that big of a deal that he needs to risk his child's life for Superman to help them escape. And then Mr. Elemental creates something that's basically looks like a bomb's going off. And the dude holding the baby hostage is like, huh? What? That's a terrible escape sequence. I feel like they put the black hole down there just because they wanted a threat. I felt like the proton lake or the anti-proton lake was like visually jarring. I think for as uncanny as it was, Mr. Elemental's head floating around, I think that was actually pretty well done. Whatever that. His name's probably not Mr. Elemental. Sounds like a lot. I'll watch it. Yeah, go watch it. It's definitely not a boring movie. In fact, I like laughed out loud at some of the more bad things. Idiocracy today. How do you? Wow, very topical. How'd you like it? Oh man, I watched Idiocracy so long ago. I barely remember it, but I was like in a fugue state. It was like probably 3 a.m. in like high school when I watched that. It's free on YouTube. I think that's where I watched it actually. Maybe, or I got it from an ulterior source. It's stupid and I love it for every bit of it. I bet if you go on Google and look up people trying to give Powerade or Gatorade or whatever it was to their plants, that is a real phenomenon. I would not put it past ourselves to do something like that. Yeah. I think it was actually like my economics teacher in high school who recommended this movie to us or something. It was absurd. Maybe he was a bit worried about the future generation and wanted to. It's a bit of a, a warning statement before we graduated. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that movie's a bit of a power fantasy too. Because like it gives the same vibes of like going back into medieval times with like an iPad, you know? Or just like imagine traveling back into history knowing like, oh yeah, Caesar will be murdered, or this is how World War One starts. Gives that kind of vibe. It would lock you up, true. Yeah. Lock you up. Then be like, uh I can tell you. That's the thing. I think the best way, I may be stealing this from someone I watched this hypothetical from, but I think the best way to go back in time is to have a book of like every single eclipse, natural disaster, everything. And so one day you could be like, the moon will turn red tonight because you jailed me. And then the moon turns red and they're like, I would travel back in time specifically to like a freak natural phenomenon. What is like the freakiest natural phenomenon that everyone on Earth would see? Is it a blood moon? Blood moon, tsunami, earthquake, you know? Oh, dude, that's messed up. Now I feel bad. No, I stick with it. I'll be like, hey, moon turns red, and then they're like, what do you want for oh deity? And I'll be like, start washing your hands, and then I'll disappear, and I'll see what that does to human history. Like germ theory is real. I'll go into like what wasn't like the 1800s when germ theory was like proposed by that one dude, and everyone's like, not even. You're lying. You're just trying to like hurt my practice. Do my bidding or I'll release the unstoppable virus that I created in college. Dude, oh my god. No, straight up just going back to like the 80s. Going back to like the 80s and just knowing all the viruses that exist now. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, I threw so hard right there. Why do I do this? Probably crash the government easily. Yeah. I was thinking more just like stealing money from people, but that too. Why am I psyching myself out on these lines? I'm like actually just throwing. It's the music. Killer Blood, I love your music. This is awesome. I'm changing it though. Here, I'm actually gonna mess with my AC too. All the vibes are off. I've been as I get into the summer and I draw personally a lot more. I get the figure drawing itch. And every time I do figure drawing or studies, I get overwhelmed and upset with myself. Because I want to do everything at once. Because I want to draw people, man. I want to draw like figures and musculature and stuff. But I always overwhelm myself with detail and stuff. So safe to say I'm excited for new masters. No, I'll do Fodap. Heck yeah, new masters. I feel like it'll be an awesome challenge because I'm a very slow person and a lot of that stuff is time oriented. Force me to make decisions on my feet. Oh god, that line sucks, dude. Frick. Totally psyched myself out on that one. In fact, I'm not sure. I want to use the Drawbox code, but if I get a better deal, I don't know. We'll see. A little bit off. They're always, yeah. Just the money from the Drawbox code goes towards. I think it supports Drawbox. So I'm more inclined to use that one. You can use both. You can. Okay. I don't know why I was under the impression that you could only use one, but if you use both, that's freaking awesome. seeing Yoluna's and Dio's work in there is always inspiring. There's also the random person that pops in doing new masters who has just cracked amazing work as well. You gotta apply for new masters newsletter. Yes, I have. Specifically, actually I haven't been getting any emails. Maybe I have to subscribe to something because I like made an account and everything with the intention of that. Because actually, for what I got for my Christmas present for my parents is like I don't want anything fancy. I want an IOU for when I start new masters. You'll cover the year of it. I can't remember how expensive any of it is. I was like, I'll apply the Drawbox code and any like other codes that I get to try to make it cheaper. Like you'll pay for a year, and I'll do all my tokens and stuff. Oh geez, that's so much more rectangular than I thought it'd be. Frick. I'm still upset about that line. I don't know why I pressed so hard on the page with my hand. This was causing like half of the page bending and stuff. Oh, this seems so off. Why? Maybe I just did the back line a tiny bit. No, it's not even the back line. What the heck? It's pretty non-negotiable that it's that just. We'll compromise and go about like right here. Oh wait, no, I can see it now. Okay, we'll go right here. Oof. Yeah, this is super rectangular. Frick. Highly foreshortened ones, man. I never make it square. We'll give it a second to dry. What my dream job? Ooh. I'm gonna take a sip of water while I think. Whereas I somehow forgot. You asked the best questions. I was kind of talking with my parents about this yesterday morning. Something that is like a tiny bit utilitarian, right? Quite a bit utilitarian. The job that got me, or the thing that got me into computer science was Mark Rober's video on the autonomous drones that deliver medical supplies in Kenya. So, like, if I could work on the pathfinding for those, or, something like that. And I don't want crazy pay. I want the ability to be comfortable, maybe start a family. That's really it. I don't want to live in luxury, right? Because I feel like with luxury comes like all this other stuff. I never hear it going well, right? So the great bits. True. Because yeah, I know for a fact you've answered. You've asked the stories question before. Anyways, yeah. But yeah, that 40-hour work week, I don't really care, right? So long as it's something that I really love. But I want time for my family and my friends and drawing. Definitely programming or engineering related. Solving problems mainly. But I love coding. I wouldn't really want to be paid for art still. I'm scared of that. Art is my independence and freedom from everything. No matter the pay, no matter the job I have, I'll still have art. If I get fired, I'll still have art. Not a big company. Are you a solar power guy or nuclear power guy? I don't know. I know there's caveats and stuff with both. There's the fear of a nuclear incident. There's the cost and land that goes into solar. I don't know enough about either of the two. I did hear about the really cool reactor they're making in France. It's like the world's biggest nuclear reactor. Is it fusion, right? I don't know that. My roommate knows a lot more about this than I. But it's like the really cool type of reactor. That seems cool. And just, as with many things, Chernobyl, nuclear threats and stuff has really put the fear of nuclear into people. I've heard of nuclear waste. I don't even know what that is, though, or how we deal with it. If it's negligible. I don't know. We have a nuclear carriers for so long it can be enormous, be really that enormous of an issue or hazard if properly taken care of. Can it really be that? Yeah. I mean, there's college campuses with nuclear reactors on it for learning, right? And that's the thing. Like Fukushima, right? It's an example of how things can go incredibly wrong. Chernobyl, I think, was a unique incident. Because there's the whole thing like mishandling of protocol and like what they were doing and stuff like that. I don't know the whole scenario, but I know there was like a lot of, and especially the incident response. Everyone's scared of the irreparable and just frankly horrifying dangers of radiation and nuclear energy, which is totally understandable. Solar is definitely safe, right? Yo! What's up, CRC? Hope you're doing well. We're messing up cylinders tonight. You're up awfully late. This is usually the hour where you dip. Welcome to the stream. We're talking about nuclear energy, future jobs, and toppling governments by traveling back in time. Oh, Panacea. The name of the song. My stream was muted. Oh no. Well, welcome. Hope you're well. I can hear now. Hello. What's up? It wouldn't have been that out of the question for me to have my audio messed up, so I'm glad that you trusted me. And that my audio wasn't broken. What's up, Cal? Cal and Jim's appearance. This is big. Oof, that backline's off by a lot. I think I'm just not using my intuition for a lot of these. Like, you know, it's if I drew my line from right here, it would have been correct. I'm just like distracting myself, etc. I'm like ducking under my microphone to get a better angle of these. I usually move it, but then I can't talk for a bit. Or like I have to move it back, and that's arduous. Arduous has been my word of the week. Loving these new figures you got. You should drop them in the hobbies chat, unless you probably did already. I just haven't checked. Cool. I have, they're all bright green construction vehicles that turn into a big robot. I love the ones that combine. The more things it transforms into, or like does. Oh, peak. Makes my OCD brain go burr. Or maybe Cersei put on the stream this late, not to watch the drawing or anything. Not that really anyone does, but as a sleep aid. I got good sleep last night. I woke up on my own without my alarm. I was still a bit groggy, but I was like, I could just recognize that it was a good sleep. Alrighty, I'm gonna let that dry. And then we have the ellipses. Not too fond of these guys, but you know. I don't know why I was playing Risk of Rain, amazing game by the way. I don't want to buy the DLC. I actually don't like playing with my friends who are good at the game because they don't give me a chance to like explore or figure things out. They're just like, go, go, go. We need to do this meta and this strat and lock this thing. But like, I have to play with them because I haven't bought the DLC. Anyways, I was playing today and I was playing as Mercenary and I died twice and I was like mad. For the first time in a while with video games, I was actually upset. You think your PC is broken? Oh no. Where's the major axis? That is a weird position for a major axis. Always gotta have a bump or something. Ooh, that's bad. Ooh, that's bad. Ooh, god dang. How am I doing? Bad. Cylinder's screwed. It's not that I just went too egg shaped on the top. It was good. It was good before that though. I think it wasn't too horrible. I'm doing well. Other than that cylinder. Oh jeez. Um. Oh man, this I'm gonna have a heart attack because of Drawbox. Um. Good though. Decent day. Oh, actually, yeah, I forgot to talk about this. Really big news, everybody. As you know, I have a bird stand where I've been trying to befriend crows. I ran into birdseed today or yesterday. Bought some new stuff today. And the crows were I didn't feed them their lunch, and so they were just kind of waiting there. And so I walked up to them when I was outside. And I was like, "Hey guys, you want some peanuts?" And they didn't fly away. It's like, okay, it was the teenager and the mom. And I was like, oh, that's unique. So I go into my room fully expecting them to have left, but one's just chilling there. And so I slowly raise, the blinds, and it's just chilling. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a first. So like take a video, and I kind of talk to him like, oh, what's a guy, and I'm like preparing the peanuts. And then it flies off to the roof right next to me and watches me open the window and put the peanuts down, and then it flies back when I was done. That's the first time any of the crows have been that chill with me. So very, very good stuff. Talos principles in this mix. Dude, oh my god, that makes me so happy. But yeah, no, I love these birds, and I'm glad to hear that they're slowly trusting me a bit more. And the doves have completely befriended the blue jays, so they just hang out now. And there's a robin that chills, 4 robins, a family of them, that swoops down into my yard twice a day. They don't go to the bird stand; they just go around the yard picking stuff out of the grass, which is cool. They're very friendly. There was one 2 days ago, or yesterday, no, that was just chilling. It wasn't like flying around or anything. It was just standing in the same spot, looking at the yard on the ground for like 30 minutes, barely moving. I'm not sure if it was just chilling, and I walked over to it at one point to see if it was okay, and it was. It just flew away. So shout out to that robin. Oh frick! The major axis isn't, the minor axis isn't correct here. Come on, man. Why did I choke so hard right there? Dude, ugh. It's so demoralizing. I tried to repair it though. Oh, jeez. It's not without its flaws, huh? Yikes. One really good one yesterday, and this one's just completely terrible. So upsetting. Started playing Satisfactory again. Uh-oh. Hope you're enjoying it. The page lifted, and I accidentally made a mark right there, and now I'm upset, and now I want to die. So yeah, we're gonna call it there, everybody. Another cylinder down. It's so demoralizing. It's so... Yes, I still like it. Heck yeah, good to hear. Man. Yeah, we're almost at the end though, so cool. Well, we'll wrap it up here. Thank you for joining, everybody. Thank you very much, Circe, Gems, Rise, Cal, Four, and Daniela. Thank you all for joining me tonight. We're gonna be streaming every day this week, cylinders as per usual. Nothing really to report on. So yeah, once again, thank you very much for joining us, and I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now. Except for Thursdays, sorry.